It's launch day. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I will be your host for all of Best Ball Mania Summer. I am the only three-time champion in Best Ball, winning Best Ball Mania 2, winning the DraftKings 555, winning the DraftKings 2K. Last year, I put two teams into the Best Ball Mania finals again the year I won, or last year, the contest I won. So rest assured, you are in good company for Best Ball Takes. Worked hard this morning and got the rankings live. There are a lot of landmines out there. There are a lot of players who are underranked. If you subscribe to beatbestball.com, which is $100 for the year, gets all my best ball rankings all summer. If you sign up now, you'll have me until next year. You'll get the pre-draft for cheap as well. Make sure if you are a beatbestball.com sub, read what I wrote on the rankings page, because there's a little bit of art to these contests. And I got some some drafts in already, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good about my ranks. Want to make sure, there's some crazy landmines. Effectively, the ranking system I saw is the pre-draft rankings there. So, we're all just sitting here refreshing. 10 a.m. was the rumor. We're going to riff until we get there. If you appreciate these streams, do me a favor. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. Your favorite fantasy analyst surely does. So you're losing out if you are not subscribed. We got a, not the biggest channel here, but full of the diehards filling these contests. DeAndre Swift, definitely a winner. Now, could things still happen? J.K. Dobbins is sitting around. I don't think a Breece Hall trade is happening. Some guys could get traded at the trade deadline, but, we're not worrying about that on launch day. Guys, I'm counting on you to keep on refreshing this, because I surely am. Got my rankings in, got them locked and loaded. Want to make sure I got them out. So definitely going to have a lot of update on my rankings, but didn't worry about the nitty gritty of at the higher end for some of the guys. Should Marvin Harrison be here, or should he be one spot later? Really wanted to make sure I just pushed down the landmines and got up the guys who are really underranked. And again, you got to play some chicken with the room. You got to ask yourself, okay, Liam has a ranking of 50. His ADP is 150. Do I take him at 50? No, that's where he's going to end up. Do I take him at 70? Okay, that's a 20 pick value on August drafts. But if I get him at 100, that's a 50 pick value. So there is a big nuance there. Let me get this up and running. I did punch in 2 finals teams from May last year. So early drafts are my strong suit. And one of the finals teams, I believe I streamed. So no free streamer EV over here. Yeah, you gotta go, people are going to be falling over themselves to get some of these players. And at a certain point, you just got to be like, fine, I'm not getting the guy I wanted in this draft. This year feels different, where there's not as many rookie wide receivers who are very underranked. And so that does, in years past, Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy, these guys' ADPs were really bad. But the wide receivers we wanted, Igbuka, Burden, they landed in very muddied situations. And then there wasn't really many guys going in that second, third round that I had to rank. We're all just Gabriel, brother. We're all asking the same question. When does the draft go live? We're all wondering. 10 a.m. was a rumor. It's 10:20 right now. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for being here. You have chosen wisely on this launch day stream. I'll probably be doing 10 drafts today. I don't think I'll be doing all 10 right now. Probably give you guys 2. If I was not streaming, I would maybe multi-table these just to try to get in a lucky room. I mean, it's not possible, Papa. The contest isn't live. How we doing? We're doing good, man. I played 2 chess tournaments, won 2 chess tournaments. Yeah, that's made $100 over the weekend. That's 4 BBM entries, guys. That could be $2 million. Yeah, Jalen Knoll. I mean, very complicated situation. I didn't really know what to do with this group of guys. I'm going to have an article live on the site either this week or next week where I go through the depth chart of every team and I tell you, this is how I see the depth chart. And these are the depth charts where I'm fairly certain of the pecking order. And these are the depth charts where things are very muddied. And I think that's a good exercise because there are certain teams where we have way more information on than others. An example of a team that I would label as very muddy right now is the Texans wide receiver pecking order after Nico Collins. You know, where, I mean, is it Kirk? Is it Jaden Higgins? What is Dalton Schultz dead? Like, what's going on here? The Bucks. Is it Ibuka? Is it Godwin? Is it Evans? Right there. I mean, I don't think Hunter Renfrow counts, but yeah, there are certain teams that have way more ambiguity than others, and you know that's a data point that other people don't really consider. They're just like, oh, pick 50. Let me take this guy here. Packers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Packers got as complicated. Okay, Matthew Golden's there. Really, all that does is like it pushes out either Dobbs or Wicks. And even if one of those guys is the 4, we've seen that team semi-support 4 wide receivers. So like that one, I would not count as complicated as others. But Jaden Reed or Matthew Golden, who's better? I think that's up for question. I mean, it's obviously wheels up as far as fantasy. Something that people are not considering is there's a legitimate chance that Audric Estime or Julian McLaughlin are going to play way more than anyone anticipates. This will be on my depth chart article. Was it probably a reach by the Broncos? Yeah, it probably was a reach, right? Like the dude's 24. I think Sean Payton fell in love with RJ Harvey. I'm going to be in for fantasy purposes. But I've also there's like 500 people I could pair it off right now that just kept on repeating Broncos running back in every draft, Broncos running back in every draft last year. And I get it. The running backs have been good in the past. I was not one of those people though last year. I was like, this team probably not going to be the best. And more importantly, Javonte Williams, not good. So I could see the steam getting a little out of hand for RJ Harvey, but we'll see. We'll see. We're all just waiting right now. Yeah, Caleb Williams, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, all the quarterbacks are wins. The certainty of the order is not a win, right? DJ Moore, loser in the draft. Rome Odunze, big loser in the draft. Loveland, big winner. I would say Tyler Warren, who I proudly had ranked where he's going to go now, like 30 spots after his ADP. He is a dynasty winner and a year one loser in all reality. Where do you think Brian Thomas Jr. will end up? I don't think Brian Thomas Jr. will see a tangible dip, nor should he. Like, he's going to be a 1-2 turn player. Yeah, this is a highly ambiguous situation. Tootin, ETN, Tank. Could someone get moved? Sure, guys. Someone could get moved, but, like, who's trading for these running backs? The Leggett situation, I mean, how could it be better? They just drafted a wide receiver at 8th overall. I don't know in what universe it could be better for Xavier Leggett. So it's worse. It's definitely worse. It's better for Bryce, though. Come on, underdog. Why are you telling us 10 a.m.? Is Coker dead? Coker is, I mean, again, it's ambiguous. My assumption is that he's the 4, which is not good, right? Possibly he's the 3, though. Adam Thielen is like 200 years old. So is it going to be surprised if Adam Thielen's a 0 by week 8? No. What do you think of Kyle Williams? 3rd-round rookie to the Patriots. I think he's, worthy of ranking, but he's a guy who I would really think about and be like, look, he's a 3rd-round wide receiver. Our 3rd-round wide receivers always, it's a pretty rare hit rate there. So I'm going to be drafting him, have a decent ranking on him, but he's drawing live to be, a Baker, a Polk. Yeah, I think personally, when I need to, Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler. In no way do I think the Steelers plan to go into the year with Mason Rudolph. Who did Aaron Rodgers train with over the offseason? Good question. Caleb Johnson, their new rookie running back. He's the one guy I forgot to really rank, but Tesla is, I just did my best to bury the landmines. He's like really the one player, but honestly, he's like an 18th round dart throw, maybe. There's been some rumors about Jameson Williams getting traded. I don't know. I don't know why they would do that. He's a 3rd-round rookie. They traded up to get him. So, like, all these things are good. We saw Tim Patrick have a role. But he's also, like, the 7th option on his team, right? So, ultimately, what the prevailing sentiment of all of these rookie running backs are going to come for the jobs. A lot of the guys I had to tank in my rankings were the rookie running backs, right? Damian Martinez, Ollie Gordon, all these guys. Like, it's possible. Look, they're 5th-round picks. They're 6th-round picks. They're, we've seen some fantasy relevance, but in no way can you, like, rank these guys highly with the information we have right now. So, yeah, it was super overblown by those folks saying that, which, I kind of was like, look, guys, I think we should be taking some veterans. Rashard, huge loser. He's a 7th-round pick, right? Are some of these guys maybe going to have an awesome camp and seize the job? Yes, that is in the range of outcomes. However, with the information we have in May, you're kind of crazy if you're just like, yes, Damian Martinez is going to be the guy who dusts the room. He's going to be an Isaiah Pacheco. Oh, maybe. I don't know, right? Like, I see no reason why you can't mix these guys in. Thoughts on Jack Beck? draftable, didn't lower him in the rankings. It's not that intriguing. I still think Trey Tucker has a role in the NFL. Like he still does something. So wide receiver 3/4 on the Raiders. Well, one thing that is possible is that with all this running back talent, maybe all of these guys would have been higher draft picks in years without as deep a class. So maybe if you're being generous, you could call like a 6th-round pick a 4th-round pick. That's kind of crazy. It's 2 rounds, right? So we're just throwing stuff at the wall here. But if you want to like stay true to this rookie running back class is the best of all time, that's what you would say. Definitely dodged a lot of comp. Still very, Chiefs running back room, still super ambiguous. How are you reading the Browns running back situation? I mean, Browns as a team is ambiguous. Who's playing quarterback? I don't know. My guess is, Judkins is obviously the one. I don't know what to do with Sampson, right? If only Judkins had landed in Cleveland, it really wouldn't have been a big deal for Ford. He would have been a 2 that does different things. Sampson really complicates the waters where it's like, okay, is Ford the 3? Is Ford the 2? Is Ford going to be the 1 to start the year? I've lowered Sampson and Ford quite a bit. It's possible, like, hey, the NFL's weird. It's possible that, like, they get to camp and Judkins looks like Trent Richardson, and they're like, you know what, who actually is going to be our running back by midseason? Ford. But I'm not drafting that with confidence. Jackson Dart, definitely draftable. I personally would not be drafting the Russell Wilsons of the world. So no information on my end. We're all just waiting for the launch here. Ultimately, not that many teams' offenses got shaken up. Elijah Moore visiting the Bills today. Some news. Makes sense. They didn't go wide receiver in the draft. Travion Belcal. God, dude, if I have to sit here for 3 hours, my Lord. I'd do it. I would do it, but no, I don't know. They're an East Coast company. There's no way. This is a personal question, Kyle. What Kyle's asking is, would you roll the dice on the Kansas City running back room or not? And I mean, you have to ask yourself that question. Are you willing to take on risk? A la Pacheco is the starter at a cheap cost, or do you want to get more info there? Are you willing to take Elijah Mitchell and Kareem Hunt and assume they're part of the rotation, or do you want more info? In general, yeah, I'm willing to embrace risk, right? This is a tournament we're trying to win. Am I going out of my way to draft Pacheco? No, because I think there is risk, right? But like, I have a higher ranking on him. New Jersey. I was born in Jersey. That's my accent for the morning, guys. I'll see myself out. The Cowboys backfield, my Lord, man. I mean, I put Javonte up in the rankings. How could you not? I think they're a team. If I could power rank J.K. Dobbins landing somewhere, I would put him as a very high landing spot for the Cowboys. I have Jadon Blue ranked. I didn't rank their 7th round guy, their Thunder, but it's possible he's a thing. In short, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. Yeah, and like Dobbins, sure, everyone's thrown out. DeAndre Swift could be traded. ETN could be traded. Brees Hall could be traded. I personally believe if these trades were going to happen, we would see them during the draft. Maybe you see these trades. Maybe you see these trades come the trade deadline. Maybe you see them later in camp. I don't know. I'm no better at guessing random trades other than you. It's not here yet, Citrus. John, this is the game. If you have a 12th round grade and my rankings are live right now. So what I'm drafting off of, there might be people in the room that have the same info. The question is, this is a personal question, and you kind of have to just feel your rooms out and just see where the guys are going, right? So it's like RJ Harvey has a ranking of 150, but not by me, but by the ADP. Obviously, that's nonsensical. Do I want to take him at 60? No. I think he'll end up there in August. So do I want to take him at 80? Maybe. Do I want to take him at 100? Yeah. I mean, yeah, there, sure. This is the game you're playing, man. You're hoping people are not hip to some of the risers, and you're hoping to get the best price on these guys. A mistake I see is people like just take guys where they're going to end up. You know, so like if you're taking RJ Harvey at pick 45, you don't understand the game we're playing. Yeah, I don't. As far as like Nick Chubb is very low down on my, oh my God, this shakes up the room. J.K. Dobbins, like, was a workhorse running back effectively last year. He was a guy people were drafting with confidence in the playoff contest. Nick Chubb was a 0 all year and then got hurt the end of the year. He recently squatted 500 pounds, if that means anything to you. It really is wild past like round 11, where I was just taking huge swaths of players out of the rankings and lowering them to the end. Brian Thomas Jr., still a first round pick to me. Travis Hunter, quite high. Yeah, no, I mean, this is just wish casting. Like, dog, Chubb's not signed. You can't put him on a similar level as the other ones. Come on, underdog. Throw us a bone here. Throw us a bone. Let's get these contests. How much is Beat Best Ball? $100, dude, for the whole year. Really a great deal, in my personal opinion. I think I messed up as far as like trying to make money from my site. I mean, number one, I'm like bleeding expected value. You know, would have been better to do like $40 a month or whatever, but $100 currently, that's what I'm doing for the year. And gets you everything. You sign up now, you'll get all my summer work, you'll get my playoff best ball, and next year's pre-draft. I disagree. Bears seem like they botched the draft. I think teams like the Bears, teams like the Bucks, these are teams that showed an understanding of where the NFL is going. Why, if your quarterback is good, beatbestball.com, dog. Here, I'll link you. The rankings are live. Honestly, I would say the $100 is, if you're drafting right now, it's worth it simply for opening day rankings. What's the minimum amount I would put into Best Ball Mania? I mean, of course, I'm going to max. I won the contest in the second edition. I put 2 teams in the finals last year, so 150 teams. But yeah, no, I think the Bears, the Bucks. When you don't have Josh Allen, when you don't have Patrick Mahomes, when you don't have Joe Burrow, what should you do? You should make sure that your wide receiver 4 is significantly better than the other team's cornerback 4, right? So I think this is we're moving towards an NFL where we're going to have a lot of great players on offense, and it's going to be kind of hard to know like who's going to get the most targets, right? Like, I think it's just smart. Offense wins in the NFL. And then you got a team like Buffalo who, like, they're just going to average 30 points a game with Josh Allen, so they have the liberty to just load up on defense. One team in the finals the year BBM2. I'm sure we could find it. Great thing about Underdog is they keep your results. So here's my 2 teams in the finals last year. Fun fact, if T. Higgins or if Chase Brown doesn't slide down at the 1, I'm either getting first or second last year, which is kind of crazy. I got 33rd for 50K and 361st for 5K. All these teams have T. Higgins who scored 40 in overtime. So, we're not thinking about it anymore, but kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer. This team, pretty nice. Stafford, Jaden, Will Shipley. The process is right. Other people are hip to it now. Chuba, early ranking on him before he rose. Rico, Jerome Ford. You got to let some guys fly. You got to let some guys go. Chase Brown slid down at the 1. Thanks a lot, dude. Jonathan Taylor. By the way, Chase Brown, huge draft winner. I was always on the camp that it was worth rolling the dice on him. Other people were like, no, they could draft a running back. Hello? The Bengals don't have like a single NFL defender. In what universe were they going to draft a running back in round 1 or 2? Demarcus Robinson, Christian Watson, Brian Thomas, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Devonta Smith, Puka Nacua, Jonnu Smith, and Trey McBride. And we'll find you BBM2 here. My other team, let's look at that real quick. Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Jaden. So obviously wish it didn't have Deshaun, but he fell to the end of the draft. Chuba, Ray Davis, Jerome Ford, Blake Corum, Brian Robinson, Travis Etienne. Moore, McCaffrey, 2 effective zeros. Brian Thomas, Terry, Mike Evans, Nico, and Jamar Chase. Loaded wide receiver 5 deep there. And Brock Bowers and Jake Ferguson. Here we go. BBM2. I won $1 million in BBM2, $1,001,001. And I also got 6th in the puppy that year with a 4 quarterback team with Goff, Ben Roethlisberger, Zach Wilson, Matt Ryan, Ramondre, Devin Singletary, Ronald Jones, Chase Edmonds, CMC, who was hurt that year. So he was a 0. And this was the year everyone was like, oh, you can't draft Ramondre. He's a rookie running back on Bill Belichick. Don't you know that? And I was like, oh, I think that narrative's kind of silly. Hope you guys like my nerd impressions. Jacoby Myers, Gabe Davis, Elijah Moore randomly on all these teams. Michael Pittman, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Think of that. Chase, Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Boom. Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts. And then, of course, the BBM2 team. Gapping the field. 202 points. 185. Here's our friend Pete in 8th. why he's always giving me shit about touting my BBM wins. Think he's upset about it. Just kidding. Justin Fields and Josh Allen. Jeff Wilson that year got hurt until people stopped drafting him. And I was like, well, if he returns by week 8, let's go. And he did. Gave me a usable week in week 16. Rashad Penny, absolutely needed him that year. Damian Harris, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones. MBS, Diami Brown, we always knew. Amon-Ra, Christian Kirk, Cole Beasley, Tyler Boyd, Chase Claypool, Jamar Chase, who you had to have 50 points, Amari Cooper, Mike Gesicki, and Noah Fant. Didn't need the Noah Fant points, but it was nice. Amon-Ra and Rashad Penny played each other week 17, so I kind of started the week 17 bring back discussion. Not that I'll get credit, but there's a lot of week 17 correlation on this team. Amon-Ra had to have that year, late round rookie hit. I was really into targeting the Seattle running backs that year because they played the Lions week 17, who had a bad run defense. These are thin edges we attack, right? And yeah, just a beauty. So I hope you guys appreciated that trip down memory lane. We're just waiting, folks. Yeah, Devonta Smith actually got tackled at the 1 yard line and then later scored a touchdown. So but yeah, Kenny Pickett, man, he QB'd us to championship. Devonta Smith was also on my team that won the DraftKings 2K that year. He scored like 40 points week 17. We won 2 contests on DK2. Rest easy. Thoughts on T-Mac? I mean, dude, 8th overall, wheels up. I think he might go down a little bit because it's the Panthers, but 8th overall draft capital, that's very good. I think I have a solid claim to that. Sustained success, especially in large field tournaments, right? I did. At the time, I was working 2 jobs. It was COVID. I was a teacher, and I was working for chess.com, and I was like, what am I, it's COVID. It's like, what am I going to do with this money? Boom. Fire it in there. Not financial advice. Justin Fields, a big winner. Dog, it's 10:40. Justin Fields, a big winner of the draft. They definitely could have gone quarterback. They did not. They still might try to game manage him, but very little risk of benching currently. What's your chess rating? Around 2,000 USCF and FIDE, which if you only play online is closer to like 2,200 online. I mean, Christian, this is the I'll have this article out soon, but we'll give a freebie for the folks. While we wait, why not? This is the math of BBM 5. It's gonna be close for BBM 6. I said this article will first examine what are the mathematical odds of an individual team reaching the finals in BBM5 if we max entered, meaning 150 teams, and what is the expected value of our entry if we do. Secondly, I'll give strategies that help us reach the finals more often and win the contest. It's important we examine, and this is how you need to think in best ball, by the way. All these nerds who are like, oh, best ball is just a game where you need to advance. It's all about advancing and just getting more shots on goal. No. Start with the back in mind, aka how do I win, and go backwards. It's important we examine and understand these things before we develop our strategies. Many drafters fall into the advanced weight bro category. After all, it's something we feel we can control. And it can't be debated that if your entry doesn't advance in the first place, it can't win the contest. Can't argue with that. To many, trying to give ourselves better odds of winning week 17 can also feel murky at best. Some people think you can't do this. I would say I'm, some evidence that you can try. Math. To reach the finals, you'll first need to finish top 2 out of 12 in your pod. Then you'll need to finish top 1 out of 13. And then you'll need to finish top 1 out of 16 to reach a 539 entry final. If you make the finals, you'll have the following payouts. And then I listed the payouts here. The expected value of a finals entry is $18,000, or basically $18,500. So my 2 finals EV tickets were roughly $37,000. So I made a little bit more than my EV, right? I made 55 last year. I had 37. This means that only the top 9.3% of finals teams make more than the EV of the ticket. This further steers us towards not only is week 17 the most important week, but finishing as high as we can is actually how we'll make significant money. And it's worse this year. They took some money out of the finals. I didn't want to touch on that. Yeah, like Underdog, they're giving 10% to the regular season. I guess I'll just give my opinion here. It's still a great contest. It's, but I personally think that it's very hard to get a team to the finals. You're going to see the math, but it's roughly 1 every 10 years. I think everyone can accept if you don't get a team to the finals, you simply are not making money that year. Why are we giving $100 to teams that finish top 9,000 in the regular season? I wish they didn't give 10% of the prize pool there. Like I made 50,000 for finishing 33rd. That would be like 25 or 15 or something this year. And I don't know. I think it's just kind of cool that like 40 people made more than 50 grand, which I would put in as like, life-changing, borderline a year salary for many people money, right? 20 people made 100K or more. That's how this contest is fun to me. Relatively small finals where if you make the finals 2,000 people, 5,000 people, it loses all of its allure. It's like, okay, great. I'm never going to win this anyways. 500 people, you can still dream, right? So I don't know. I think the structure was better last year, but, it is what it is. And now I'm giving you the math. If you drafted 150 teams and performed at average advance rates, you can expect the following. 2 times 2 out of 12 times 150 equals 25 teams for the quarterfinals, around 2 teams for the semis, and around 0.1 of a team. Since this isn't logical, I said as 0.12 is below 1, this is easier thought of as, keep on refreshing, by the way, on my phone. This is either thought of as you'll have at least 1 team in the finals 11.7% of the time if you have 1.92 semifinals teams. So basically, once every 10 years, if you 150 the contest, you'll get a team into the finals. It's very hard to do. So this is why I'm like, do we really need to give $100 to the 9,000th plate? Like, does $1 million need to go to this? Personally, no, but whatever. If instead you were a monster, you got 50 teams, you advanced 50 teams, right? 2x the expectation. You're still only getting a team to the finals 31% of the time. So not, better than 11.7%, but not great. If you advanced all of your teams 150, you're only getting a team to the finals roughly 50% of the time. AKA, just because you advance more teams, it doesn't necessarily mean it really greatens your finals odds that much. From a pure math perspective, even though we're increasing our semifinals teams by 3x and 6x respectively, we would not be getting a 3x or 6x greater chance of having a single team in the finals. As you can see, it's extremely difficult to get a single team to the finals, right? Like I could stream for 10 more years and not get one. Had 2 last year. Even if you advance 150 teams, it's a coin flip if you'll make the finals. This is why for large field, top-heavy payout structures like BBM5, the DraftKings Millie, the Puppies, I am not an advance rate bro. And people hate this midseason. When I'm only advancing 20 teams, 25 teams, you're a loser. You're a best ball pro. You only advanced 20 teams, 25 teams, loser. This guy advanced 75 teams. He's the best. Best ball is a quality game, not a quantity game. If you had Jamar Chase or Saquon on all your teams last year, you were advancing. Were you winning? No. Meaning I'd rather try to attempt to improve my odds at winning the tournament if I get a team to the finals versus strictly trying to advance as many teams as possible. So like I'll eat things like a 0 at bye, right? This isn't to say I'm not trying to advance. It's just not my sole focus, right? I'm typically drafting structures that if my player selection is right, can produce high weekly outcomes, blah, 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 blah. And then I gave some strategies, taking players whose production will be weighted towards the end of the season. This means rookies, suspended players, and players coming off injury, creating week 17 game stacks, taking a stand on a player, right? Jerome Ford was on both of those finals teams. Chuba Hubbard was on both of those finals teams. No coincidence that I had 2 teams in the finals, because if you take a stand on a player and that player has a really good playoff week, you're getting all the gravy there, Gave other ways it could happen, blah, blah, blah. Draft an underused structure, creating unique combos. You should absolutely be reading this article. It's totally free on the site. CD Lamb combo article. Draft players not 100% drafted. This is something you should always do. Target bad defenses for week 17. Yeah, some people hate this one. Oh, defense is not sticky, blah, blah, blah. But you can look at the things they did. All right, enough of that. Come on, underdog. Let's see. Let's get to some comments here. No, I don't care about badges and all that. Fries, good news. I will have drafters rankings live on the site this week as well. Dog, you're here. I have no issue with them paying out like the top teams in the regular season. I just think they could have cut $1 million out of it and it'd been fine. We'll find my tweet on it. So here's the payout structure. I said, personally, I like last year's better, which rewarded reaching the finals more than this year on average. I'm not a yes man, guys. I'm just giving my opinion, right? 31 to 40 made 50K last year. This year it's 30K. 41 to 50 made 25K last year. This year it's 15K. The difference is the money being paid out to the regular season performance, which really, like, guys, it's a $25 entry Is anyone really trying to get $100 on their entry? No. I think you can take this money, which is $900,000 out, put it in the finals. Honestly, I kind of think this money too. 500 to 1,000, $200, take that out, put it in the finals. You want to pay the top 500 regular season teams with this payout structure? That's fine to me. But that's an extra $1 million you could have had in the finals prize pool, which again is the goal of everyone in this contest. No one is trying to do this. And it's result oriented guys like this. Like, oh, I had so many good teams and I didn't get paid on them. Tough, dude. You didn't get a team to the finals, right? Like, that's the contest. So people are like, oh, this smooths out variance. Not really. It's not easy to get a top 10K team either out of 700,000 teams. Is the winner... people are saying, oh, the winner of Best Ball Mania 5 wasn't the best team. I mean, it won the most money, so it was to me. And I would say the team that scores the most points in the regular season, that's not necessarily the best team either. It just didn't get injured players, right? Like, let's say you take Saquon and I take Jahmyr Gibbs and Saquon breaks his leg. Was that skill of you? Or was that skill of me that I took Gibbs instead of Saquon and your player broke his leg? No, that was lucky. Luck is part of this game, folks. So I love these people who think they can control, that they would just win the money every single time if it was just regular season. It's ridiculous. First off, there are regular season contests such as drafters. We'll definitely be doing some drafters content if you want to get up on there. But if you're so good at drafting the highest scoring regular season teams, go draft there. Yeah, I mean, is it skill? Was I unskilled for drafting Ayuk and he got hurt? No, that was unlucky, right? So 200 of you guys. Thanks for hanging. We're just waiting. CSV is not uploading. Zach. Are you sure? Because I uploaded it on my end. Can you try again, my friend? Because that's something I want to make sure works. I always upload the CSV on my end before I upload it on the site. But let me look into that. Can anyone else who has my rankings confirm if they're able to upload the CSV? Make sure you're uploading it to the right place too. Rankings, NFL, upload. Jack said it worked. You got to click on the 25 season. It worked for me. Yeah, you might be clicking an old ranking thing. This is not how I had the rankings, though. Let me... Oh, so you see this, guys? You got to click on 2025 season, not the eliminator season. That is why. Yeah, so I guess this is that, and this is my rankings. We'll see what it is on once this launches. The reason why is because these contests usually have different player IDs. Yeah, Ginty definitely defensible as high as like the 106, but there's a lot of running backs to like and high end wide receiver. Going all in on Debo last year, I don't know. I think that process could have been questioned a little bit more. Not that I wasn't taking him too. I mean, this is me saying, is it now? Define soon. When puppy, these people are sick. One back in New York. I'm sorry, New York folks. I don't know what's going on there. Florida lost drafting for a little bit, but somehow got fixed right away. My God, man. Make the call? Sure. Yeah, hi, Jeremy Levine. Just kidding. Maybe I'll add that on the. I'm going to add that on my site right now for the rankings, just to prevent a lot of headaches. That make sure they're on the 2025 season and not the Eliminator season. So rankings, NFL. If anyone from Underdog is watching, please, for the love of God, put this as the default NFL 2025 season and not the Eliminator season. Okay, updated that. Give people a little bit of warning about where to upload. All right, so I mean, here's what we're getting here, folks. We're getting the sprint, which is basically the sprint is like Best Ball Mania, except total points weeks 15 through 17 win. We're getting weekly winners. This is a contest I don't even really bother entering. It's who can score the most points in a given week. The prizes are not that big. We're getting the marathon again, which is their total points contest. So it was kind of a question if we were going to get this after they gave regular season prizes for BBM 6. And then the 2025 season, this is BBM 6, the puppies, etc. And then the eliminator is a contest where you draft teams, they get eliminated as the weeks go, like 5 teams, 3 teams. It's a fun one too. I didn't do any last year, but I might this year. I mean, is it? Where was this posted? We'll post, see if anyone has any info. I see. Here's some, you would think that Pete would know more than me. Pretty much just done this for the past couple of years, Nick, but I used to be a chess teacher and I've been missing the classroom, so think I'm going to be um moving into the classroom as well and helping around there come the school year. Shouldn't really impact anything as far as my streams or site. Just probably going to have to stream at night some days. So, moving to a night schedule of streaming later this year. See what Mike Leone's talking about, a fellow Bills fan. Okay, this is a lot. We're not gonna dive in there. This is a funny comment. If you guys didn't see, someone posted that me and 100 people could defeat a gorilla, and everyone is saying absolutely not. We could not defeat a gorilla. This guy, this guy says this. I'm a good teacher, guys. So it's why I'm probably an effective streamer. I personally think that 100 people could just overwhelm a gorilla. Just the sheer weight of 100 people, if they were coordinated, a lot of people are going to get messed up. But if all 100 jump on him at once, that's a lot of weight, guys. That's like 15,000 pounds. A gorilla can't lift that. Okay, Sean saying it's been 12 Eastern time. That's tough, guys. I didn't eat breakfast. I kind of just thought I'd be able to jump into the streaming right now. 50 minutes, no breakfast. Maybe I'll go grab a banana or something. All right, well, let's look at some. What I did in the big board is I autoed my last 25, and I drafted 125 regularly. So I've always thought I would like BJJ, CB, but I've never really got there. I've not been working on my chest, but I have been like squatting heavy and pushing the sled in the gym, which, by the way, pushing the sled in the gym is a very hardo task, but I do it anyways. Why I say it's a hardo task is because like you're kind of in people's way and no one else does it. But I'm like, okay, this is good for me for sure. Right. And all I've really been doing is doing that. And it's been helping my chest just because I think I'm strong, Being strong is a big part of chess. Yeah, I agree. Hybrid dad. People have to go into the gorilla fight knowing they're going to die, but together it could be done. I agree, man. Like, look, no one wants to be on the front line, but we could do it, guys. We could do it. All right, guys, give me a number and let's peep that big board team. I do have some nice teams with some like cheap RJ Harvey, some cheap Travis Hunter. I don't think I have any of those together. No, I do not yell. But unfortunately, what I do have to do is I have to ask some people sometimes who don't like, I'm pushing the sled and I'm like dying recovering. And then people are like on the ground stretching. And I have to be like, hey, would you mind like moving 5 feet so I can push the sled again? They're always very like, 71. All right. Well, I did label 69. So 70, 71. Goff, May, Dart. Keep in mind, guys, these are 20-round drafts. Best Ball Mania is 18. Dart, a nice value. James Conner survived the draft. Nice. Jalen Warren got some competition. Brian Robinson survived the draft. J.K. Dobbins. He's going to fall in drafts until he gets signed. I've seen him go, like, he'll probably even go in the last round sometimes. I'm still going to be mixing him in. Ray Davis, Gibson. Gibson's a huge loser of the draft. So, running back room. Jefferson, Tyreek, Terry, Jamo, Tet, Shakir, Bond. Bond's a huge loser. Didn't go drafted. Yoshi Voss, Goddard, Otten, Henry. Yeah, it's an okay team. You can see the vision. 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Love, Penix, Dart. Again, Dart, good guy to mix in. Kamara, Caleb Johnson, and Warren. So we got the double Steelers running back. Rachaad White, who, I mean, low-key winner of the draft. Roschon, big winner of the draft. Gibson, loser of the draft. Jordan James. You could see the intrigue. Amon-Ra, London, Moore, Harrison, Shakir, Mims, Dobbs. Dobbs, a loser of the draft. Yeah, decent team. 23, the Michael Jordan. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. A random 4-quarterback draft. Tua, Darnold, Geno, Dart. Yeah, so Darnold, like, I'm still drafting him. He's obviously a worse pick than Geno with the selection of Jalen Milroe. But I still think Darnold will start most, if not the whole year. So a weird 4-quarterback team. I think I just felt like doing one. Tyrone Tracy. I'm not too worried about Scatabo. He's still a thing. It's live? You're lying. It's not live. Oh, it's live. We're jumping in. Oh, holy God, guys. They have 20-second options this year and 30. Wow. So BBM 6, 20 seconds per pick or 30 seconds. Of course, we chose 20. Oh my God, look at these entrants go up. Look at these entrants go up. We are live. We are live. Let's go. That's huge. That's a huge quality of life thing. Making it go to 20 seconds. Pulled the 6th pick. Let's go. We'll let the Discord know as well. Link to join that is below. Get in there. Christmas in April. See if this is relevant at all. I don't know. Someone tagged me. No, idiot. So the only question is, well, number one, do my rankings get in? Yes. And the question is, I forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter, guys. We are here. Literally, the number was at 0 when I went live. Oh, the question is the auto drafters. Sure. Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go. Starting this bad boy with a running back. The question is, what happens if you auto draft? Do you get sent on auto draft? That is our question. Oh, rankings. Something we forgot to do. Limits. Terrible. Change these. We're going to do 3. We're going to do 2, 6, 8, 2, 10, 18. Yeah, we'll do that for now. The middle is definitely the best spot because you can get fallers. GT goes 10. We're going to close this. We'll share the YouTube link with folks too. Didn't even do a thumbnail. No need. Oh, we're on the clock. Lad. Yeah, Lad. Close that out. Gene T 107. Yeah, I mean, I think Gene T is in discussion at the 107. I wouldn't blink an eye if he goes there. I do think more of the running backs in the later rounds were winners than the wide receivers, so that should steer me towards going like a lad. Nothing wrong with some bankroll management, right? Everyone should realize playing this contest, very top heavy, very hard to win. No need to go over your skis. Not many people are going to tell you that are streaming on the excitement day, but we keep it real here. I'm not as interested in Garrett Wilson. Do you have a take on CD Lamb versus JJ? It's so tough, man. Like I'm probably gonna have Jefferson ranked one spot ahead. I was gonna draft a guy, and I was just kind of shocked where he went. All right, let's go Terry. Maybe we'll get the Jaden on the wrap. The thing about Lamb is he obviously has almost no target competition, but it's Justin Jefferson, so it's like tough. Let's go. Rashee Rice 31. I think that's fine, man. Rashee Rice is a first-round pick if he's healthy. Yeah, pour one out for our New York homies. Let's get it. I love these 20-second clocks. Especially like when you get in a room with autoers. You could see Keenan Allen landing with Dallas. Amari Cooper landing with Dallas. So we're definitely going to rip a couple. 20-second clocks, why not? Okay, Jaden goes. No big deal. Honestly, high-key a blessing because like I like him, but I want to get the value. James Cook, a winner of the draft. All right, guys, let's start it off with a bang. Travis Hunter, welcome to the 4th round. Boom! Do I want to do that in every draft? No. His ADP is 60. That ADP is fake. But guys, you only get one opportunity to draft one first BBM 6. And you know what we did on this channel? We drafted Travis Hunter. Roma Dunze, huge loser of the draft. Bad pick. 5 big booms. Boom, boom, boom. I don't even know what those guys are. I'm definitely Hunter over Tet. This is where I have him ranked, but I could see it very quickly getting out of hand. DJ also a loser. Both are losers. Wow, Hampton. We almost got Hampton too. Okay, old man Kittle. We're going to beat the room at running back, wide receiver, and tight end. If anyone knows the Howard Dean speech, which you have to be around my age or older, we're going to Arkansas. We're getting Ladd. We're getting Terry. We're getting Kittle. Pew! If you guys know that joke, that just killed. If you don't, look it up. Look up Howard Dean. Bial. The man was literally probably going to be president of the United States, and then he said that, which if you think about like what, is currently said by presidents and presidential candidates is wild. Hampton's a hard one. He's a winner as far as pure ceiling case, right? If he's the unquestioned workhorse for the Chargers, that's a smash. He's a loser, though, as far as like median outcomes, because like Najee's not going to be a 0. So it's like, yeah, I prefer Cook over Hampton. But I can see it doesn't really matter what I'm saying here. I could see people getting out of control with it and just assuming the ceiling case only and just rising him up because of that. I'll definitely have a timestamp for the folks, something we don't usually do, but I'll have a timestamp with when the draft starts on this video. I just don't feel like doing Debo. Jennings, Connor. Let's do Connor. The running backs get a little bit gross. Connor, a winner of the draft. We're gonna like the wide receivers we get here. Need a timestamp for the Dean joke? Maybe, man. Cook will be cheaper. I don't disagree that it could go that way, but I think those people are wrong, right? May 16th or so. No, this is going to be normal. First quarterback, end of the third. Kind of a boring selection, Jacoby, but he's a solid wideout. Good luck, sir. You know, literally, you know what you can pinpoint all this back to? Me taking Travis Hunter and giving the Howard Dean speech is seeing ripple effects throughout drafts. Kincaid, Keon, these guys are winners of the draft. I think you're trying to say 20 seconds is better, but I'm not sure. I will do almost 0 30-second clocks unless I think the people drafting the 30 seconds are much worse. Like, what kind of person sees 20 seconds and goes, no, I need 30? Saints drafted a running back in the 6th round, Devin Neal. Josh Downs, definitely a loser of the draft. Tyler Warren, presence. Okay, I mean, Caleb Johnson versus Jalen Warren is like a legit discussion. Oh my God. The 20 seconds got me. I was going to do Cooper Cup. Tyrone Tracy, okay. Didn't really want to go running back there. Um, I don't think Tracy's like a loser with Scoutable landing there. Should stay around this price. I could see Warren being the better pick than Caleb. I don't know. Need that extra 10 seconds to do my Howard Dean screech before clicking Hunter. We always meant it. We always meant it, Brian. So, I mean, I'm probably going to have a ranking update later this week. We're going to do Mims. Winner of the draft. Need a wide receiver. We got 3-5-1. Gibbs, Connor, Tracy, Ladd, Terry, Hunter, Myers, Mims, Kittle. Yeah, 20 seconds, definitely not as easy to stream with. Jaden Higgins, I don't know. Mims a winner? I would say Mims is a winner because, like, Pat Bryan in the third, that's not that stiff. Someone saying they still like Reed over Golden. I have them ranked right next to each other. Stroud's a winner for sure. Ooh, we're going back to our old ways. I know what quarterbacks we're targeting here. Lord forgive me, because I'm going back to the old me. Yeah, I don't know what the Texans' plan is at O-line. That is a good question. It's going to be fascinating when Underdog releases the data of percent of drafts that are 20-second picks and percent that are 30. Or Kirk. I mean, who's the loser there? I don't know. Higgins, Noel, Kirk. Trey Harris. Defensible. Maybe a little rich. We're going to take Herbert. Herbert and Ladd. McCaffrey, huge upside. Also a risky pick. Worth mixing in. Anyone want to take this stand for Brian? I mean, this is kind of crazy, guys. Third round rookie. This is a bad pick. That's overexcitement to me. Okay, we'll do Njoku. A powerful duo of tight ends, Njoku and Kittle. The Browns skill players are like winners because Hunter didn't land there, but losers because we don't know who the quarterback is. I would buy this. Tootin. I'm not going to tell anyone they're wrong for taking Tootin. Do you think 20-second clock will be an edge against casuals? I don't know, man. I think it's just a quality of life thing. Do you like Trevor Etienne? Weird landing spot. So he's worth mixing in, but not like a slam dunk. Part of the reason I could push Trevor there, I thought at least, is because the guy who has Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't have him. But maybe this guy, oh no, this guy's attacking him with ETN. So that's a bummer. Trevor with Hunter was the plan. But we still got ways to make this work. Backstacking Dak, always a reasonable thing. My God, the wide receiver hunger. Let's do that. Let's backstack Dak. Pick 140. Like, come on. Decent click. Looked good in the routes. Yeah, I think around this range. He's risky, you know. So we got Herbert, Dak, Gibbs, Connor, Tracy, Ladd, Terry, Hunter, Myers, Mims, Kittle, Njoku. Probably stopping a 2 tight end. Probably stopping a 2 quarterback. Probably going 5 running backs. Maybe 6. Yeah, maybe we'll go for the 2-6-8-2. Oh, shit, we're on the clock. Sure, Correndo. Jordan James landed there, but I would still put Correndo safely above him. Why is Rome a bad pick? He's a bad pick as ADP because they added a tight end at pick 10 and a second round wide receiver. So unless you think, I mean, someone's going to be a loser in that room, man. Thoughts on the Jags backfield? Your guess is as good as mine. My intuition is ETN gets squeezed somehow. Javonte and Sanders, yeah. I don't know. Like, it's a hard Dallas running back, hard to see. I could see this happening more in 20-second drafts, just like random quarterback snipes. Five more picks left. This thing is flying. Herbert, Dak, Gibbs, Connor, Tracy, Garendo, Ladd, Terry, Hunter, Myers, Mims. Quentin Johnston. I could have taken him to go with Herbert, but I was going to do him on the wrap. He's definitely a loser of the draft with Trey landing there. I think DraftKings drops later this week. Hilarious. Would you consider Pearsall draft loser? Why? Why do you ask that? Did they draft a wide receiver in the first? No. The second? No. So, no. Old man Thielen. Not really one of my favorite clicks, but wide receiver getting gross. No, man, I'm not drafting Hunter Renfrow. Let's see if Hunter Renfrow makes the team. Just wait and see, brother. Well, I didn't realize Rachaad White was still there. He's solid value. Coker, I don't know. Went Leggett, Thielen, Coker. Basically, all three of these guys just dropped a lot in price. We're just gonna pull up Jalen Tolbert and not let the snipers do it. So we got Dak to Tolbert. Definitely feeling the Tracy pick right now in my wide receiver room. I'm not sure yet, Jared. Probably for a tournament or two. Thoughts on Jalen Royals? I mean, kind of a draft loser. Didn't go that high in the draft. Crowded wide receiver room ahead of him. You can still mix him in, but yeah, not great. Quentin Johnston, a draft winner? No. They drafted Trey Harris. The Njoku pick could have been Keon too. This is kind of rich for Jack Beck. We're gonna do right. Ollie Gordon landed there, complicating things, but 16th round pick. Cheers, brother. Okay. Let's go Yoshi Voss. Didn't draft a wide receiver. Why not? Okay, and I think it's a Ninth wide receiver versus sixth running back. Probably going to go sixth running back. Oh, yeah. Jalen Wright is definitely not without risk, but he's also, Achane gets hurt. Maybe he's a winner. Alec Ayamanor, this feels pretty. Who's the wide receiver for the Broncos? This feels pretty Troy Franklin to me. Like he went in the fourth round. Eliminator is definitely a little bit different because of the bye weeks. Chimere Dyke? Did I miss something? Who is this guy? Chimere Dyke. What? On the fourth round? I don't know, guys. Fourth round wide receiver. I mean, so they went Dyke, and when did Alec Ayamanor go? He went the fourth too. Sure. Justice Hill. First one in the books, guys. Herbert, Dak, Gibbs, Connor, Tracy, Garendo, Wright, Justice Hill, Ladd, Terry, Hunter, Myers, Mims, Thielen, Tolbert, Andre Yoshivas, Kittle, Njoku. We will date that and number it when it finishes. And do not worry, we're already in our second one. No. Florida DK. How do you feel about Gene T's price? I mean, dude, it's him and Raheem Mostert. I think he's a worthy roll of the dice at the 106, 107. I get it. He's a rookie. He's on the Raiders, but the dude could lead the NFL in touches. Yep. Loser. Draft loser. Doesn't mean he can't be a fantasy winner, We deserve the 101. Give us a chase team. I'll probably do some 30-second streams in the future just because it allows me more time to talk. Second, no, it's not going to be separate ADPs. That wouldn't make sense. Wow, guys. Gonna give me Puka? Let's go. This guy I play chess with just asked me if I wanted to play paid online training games, and I thought what he meant is like he wanted to pay me for me to play him in chess once a week. And then I asked for more info, and he said, "No, like we play a game, and if he wins, I pay him $70, and if I win, it's free." So it's like basically he's asking if I want to pay for the permission to play him, and no offense, but no, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I could play someone online. Yada yada. I thought it was kind of a funny way to phrase the question of like, kind of like, do you want to pay for coaching? Moving to New York, get used to that train. Gino ADB, yeah, I've raised Gino. 6 rounds too low. I mean, no, it's just kind of like what the market does, right? It's like, okay, I get your point. Like, what's the difference between Gino and Stafford and Young and Tua and Penix and blah blah blah? They're all very similar, but someone has to be the cheapest. So we got Puka and AJ Brown going a little wide receiver heavy to start here. If you guys are just tuning in, I do have rankings live on beatbestball.com. I will have DraftKings rankings later when that drops, and I'll have drafters rankings. So get it all, $100 a year. We got Lamar at the 2-3 turn. Yeah, you would assume Higgins has more of an impact than Noel because he went higher in the draft. Chase Brown, huge draft winner. Let's go. How are you pricing the Steelers given the quarterback situation? I'm assuming that Rodgers is going to sign there, so I think they're both fine rolls of the dice. What do you think this is? Colt Fan MF? Cook 2. I like it. Puka, AJ Brown, Brown and Cook, anchor running backs, 2 anchor wideouts, fill in the depth. In 1.75 tight end premium, would you rank Bowers ahead of someone like Neighbors in Dynasty? It's very close, Dustin, right? Like the thing about Neighbors is he's always going to be among the league leaders in targets at wide receiver. He's a talent on par with like Jefferson, Chase, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty good. The thing about Bowers is he goes almost priced next to Neighbors in regular best ball, not tight end premium. So if that is correct by the market, you would think that Bowers should be worth more than Neighbors in this case. However, it really depends if it's best ball or not, because if it's not best ball, if it's managed set your league, I think Bowers has more value because you need to choose your tight end and set it. In best ball, though, I think wide receivers like Neighbors are more scarce than good tight ends, so that leads me toward the wide receiver. I play the English. I play the Sicilian. This guy's username is Poop Monster. What makes someone do that? Oh man, we didn't get him. Hunter, I was holding my breath. Is DeAndre Hopkins a no for you this year? No, I think he's fine. He goes as a 17th round pick. You can roll the dice there. This is crazy, yeah. Feels pretty good to go Brown and Cook when I'm seeing Mixon, Henderson, Walker, Chuba's going to go soon. Yeah, I can confidently say no, Nabala. They're not going to drop a chat room option. Should we do the Burrow to Brown? Let's go Metcalf first because I think there's no logical reason for any of these guys to take Joe Burrow. And then if Burrow's still there, we might just do it. Try to backstack with Yoshi Voss, Gesicki. I put in 2682, Ted, but you could make that like a 3663, whatever you want, 3773, whatever. Why is Amon-Ra St. Brown a 1-2 turn pick now? A little bit of fatigue, a little bit of, he doesn't have as clear a case to the 101 as some of these guys. I have him drafted as rankable. I don't really think any pass catcher in a Justin Fields offense is going to go crazy. Okay, Joseph. Why not? Chase Brown. How many balls you catch last year, my friend? 54, 4 touchdowns. Let's go. Is Isaac Tesla a decent dart throw? He's definitely a justifiable dart throw on golf stacks. By the way, pretty nice price on Chuba. I don't think all that much has changed for him. I don't know. I mean, blanket advice until we have info. Don't take any rankings. Go to rankings. Don't take any running backs taken after the 4th round. Don't take any wide receivers taken after the 3rd round. And obviously, there's going to be some random, could there be a Tank Dell, or he's a third round? Could there be a Puka Nakua, fifth round wide receiver? Could there be, Bucky was a fourth round running back. Could there be a Damian Pierce, sixth round running back? Thoughts on Packers wide receiver room? One of Dobbs or Wicks is the 4. Reed and Golden, I view pretty similar. So not something I'm going to do a lot, taking Burrow with Brown, but Burrow he can easily average 25 fantasy points, so got to do it. I took a ton of later round pick rookies last year. I did not do well. Yeah, right? Like, that's why my blanket advice is, like, don't go over your skis on these guys, but some of them could be hits. Woody Marks, I need to refresh myself with how high he went in the draft. He didn't go as high as I thought. Fourth round. He's mixable in. Khalil Shakir, a little correlation with James Cook. Yeah, I think Marks is a defensible guy to mix in at the end. But again, let me name some fourth round rookie running backs we were taking last year. Jalen Wright, 20 fantasy points last year. Braylon Allen, 75 fantasy points last year. Trey Benson went in the third. Blake Corum went in the third. So it's like, this is just because that happened doesn't mean it can't happen this year, right? But in general, even with the trade up, these guys are not the best bets in the world. Dylan Laube was like undrafted free agent or 7th rounder. Yeah, we'll definitely go Egbuka here. He is a huge tier break for me. And I don't know how to read it for Chris Godwin, to be honest, because I think this whole time I've been like, okay, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, we have big concerns about because he was hurt. But Chris Godwin, no concerns. He got paid the money. New England wanted to throw stupid money at him, but perhaps the Egbuka is signal that Godwin would start the year on PUP. Maybe it's just the Bucks looking to the future. Maybe it was just them going best player available. I don't know. I do know he went top 15 in the draft, though, top 16. So obviously he's a talented guy. Ray Davis was a 4th round pick as well. But even that, he was like a win, I would say. And 107 fantasy points, 400 rushing yards. Trust me, and I did this with a lot. I did this with Rasheen Ali. I don't know. I'm going to have my depth chart article out, going through every team's depth chart, resetting it, saying where I'm confident, saying where I have ambiguity. And so when I do that, I'll be able to really accurately look in and be like, okay, these guys are risky. These guys are good picks, blah, blah, blah. So we like it. And going like a weirdly stacked Burrow feels a lot better when like a round later Baker goes. A round later, the rest of the quarterbacks go. We got Burrow, Chase Brown, James Cook, Puka, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Khalil Shakir, Emeka Egbuka. That's a team you feel good about. I mean, all it takes usually is just the Chase drafter and the Higgins drafter passes on Burrow, tries to push him, and he's gonna fall there. There will be some drafts this year where Burrow makes it back at the 6-7 turn. But in this case, the Chase drafter went Hurts and Smith, and the Higgins drafter went Travis Hunter. Will pick 6 by Hunter count towards his wide receiver production? Yeah, I believe all touchdowns count. We'll roll the dice on Mr. DeAndre Swift. Draft winner. No, I would not trade away Gibbs. It's possible Swift finds a way to be a loser, but yeah, I don't. People love to cite that like Ben Johnson traded him away. Maybe he didn't. So let's go Bateman. Bateman, Metcalf, both play in the AFC North with Burrow, trying to get some division stacks. Well, you have to keep in mind that Najee's ADP is 64. So Najee is slowly making his way down. I don't have him ranked this high. I have him ranked like here. I'm going to be drafting Puka with confidence in the first. It's possible Devontae Adams takes some yards and touchdowns, but I personally am not going to overthink a guy who could lead the league in target share. It's possible Kareem Hunt's a winner. It's also possible he gets cut. I feel a little bit better about this team on paper. Anytime you go Kittle, it just puts stress on your team. Yeah, not a great fit for half PPR, but Ramondre, pick 116. Seems fairish. I would not be doing this, but I understand why some people are. And I don't think, like, look, go and pick 2, go and pick 8. They're both obviously very good. I mean, it's that or it's, let's go Keon this time. So we got the Bills offense without the Bills, Keon, Shakir, Cook. I mean, without Josh. Bateman and Keon, similar bets. Feel pretty decent about this wide receiver room. Puka, AJ Brown, Metcalf, Shakir, Ibuka, Bateman, Keon. Could even stop at 7 if I was so inclined. Yeah, it's partly auto drafting for McMillan. It's partially because his ADP is like 86. And so some people see that and think value. Holy God. Juwan Johnson pick 131, folks. What could that have been? I mean, this guy drafted a perfectly logical team. I thought it was really nice to get this Caleb Loveland stack. Did he have Juwan in his queue? Did he think he was drafting a different Johnson? Quentin Johnston, maybe? What is that? My Lord. The star method is just so bad. So bad. Tyler Warren, I think it's pretty bad to take him over Kincaid, Kraft. It's defensible. I mean, Kincaid doesn't like getting all these bills was not really what I want to do. Like Kincaid, Keon, Shakir, Cook, but the price is so cheap that it's fine. Like first tight end, round 12, huge drop off after Kincaid. Obviously, you would prefer to have Josh, but not at pick 29. And simply need Joe Burrow to outscore Josh. And for me, the real nuts is like Cook scores 30 in a game, plus one of the pass catchers has a good game. Because the 30 takes away from Josh Allen. And just cheap prices on like the Bills' offense is somewhat ambiguous. Shakir, Keon, Kincaid, Josh Palmer, Curtis Samuel. Don't really have a clear second quarterback to target. Stafford makes sense. The star method is when you like, if I took Joe Burrow and so I go in and I star Mike Gesicki and I go and I star Andre Yoshivas. It's for the folks who think that for some reason they're going to just totally forget what to do when they're on the clock. And then you auto draft a guy way above ADP because you starred them. Dylan Sampson, pick 142. I don't know. Seems somewhat. Tyron Tracy, 96. Scatabo, 99. I don't know. Matt saying I do that. I think those two are totally able to be stacked together. Handcuffed, if you would. Dallas Goedert's cheap price is nonsensical as well. They're not even going to trade him anymore. Would have liked to get one of these tight ends, Pitts for Goddard. I mean, I don't like taking Pitts, but I got to. Dang. We get this. Thought this guy would maybe pass having May and Stroud, but Stafford taken from us. Wild Richardson selection. I don't know. Just a really cheap price on Tua. A lot of people like going 3 QBs. I'm usually 2 QBs, though. Tua would prefer he's stacked. Not the most appealing cheap stack options. Can always go, what's his face? Nick Westbrook-Akine. But I mean, I guess Ward maybe a little bit more backstackable. We're going to go Rashad White. Jalen Noel? I don't know. Dynasty winner? This is like roughly how I view it. 3 quarterback is advance rate and 2 quarterbacks better single week upside. Dolphins selected Quinn Ewers, which he's not a good quarterback, but he should be serviceable for the skill players if Tua gets hurt. Yes, they did. At the same time, is Lamar going to be throwing for 44 touchdowns or whatever this year? Probably not, but 41. But maybe. Keenan, J.K. Dobbins, Cooper. All these guys. I'm anticipating still signs. So this team would have felt more comfy if we had Stafford to go with Puka instead of Tua. And I could have gone Aaron Rodgers with Metcalf, but I just don't feel like it. Other than that, most of my wide receivers are in good offenses where the quarterbacks go high. You know, Hurts, Allen, Baker, Lamar. I don't know about that Devin Neal pick. Seems kind of rich. Could work. We'll go Eckler. Draft winner. I mean, Eckler and White, both just receiving backs. Like, both these guys could have pretty good years. Where with this group of 5, I could stop at 5. Obviously, both could be 0. Just 2. I'm probably going to go 6th running back and 2 tight ends. What happened to Roman Wilson? Still a defensible click. Komet. Yeah, they'll probably play him. Gonna go Gesicki, of course, with Burrow. I mean, currently that's what it looks like, Cody, but there's a lot of time for that to change. J.K. Dobbins could land with them. They could be a draft, like the Jets could be bad and they trade Breece Hall midseason. Like all these things are in the range of outcomes. Okay, Kincaid and Gesicki is a defensible group to stop at 2 if I want. Because it's kind of like I would like to get Yoshi Voss if he's there. I'd like another tight end too. I'd kind of like another running back as well. So tough. Maybe we'll just take naked Tua. It's hard going from 20 rounds to 18 rounds. Yeah. This is like a 4th round rookie. Probably not a great pick at wide receiver. It's always been 18. They just do 20 for the pre-draft contest. In no universe do I see the Bills trading at the trade deadline unless Josh Allen is like hurt. But typically Super Bowl teams don't sell at the trade deadline. You know, teams that could be selling at the trade deadline, Miami, Tyreek Hill. The Jets, Breece Hall. All right, we're just going to take Yoshi Voss. Joe Burrow, Yoshi Voss, Gesicki. Like, you got to get some stacks there when you go Burrow. And then another running back or another tight end is the question. I think we're going to go tight end. Just hope that amongst Swift, White, and Eckler, 2 of them are hits. Which means that we're going to have naked Tua, which doesn't feel great, but there really was no stacking. And these quarterbacks, when Stafford went for us. I guess instead we could have gone Cam Ward and we could have gone like Chig. We'll get some division correlation. Mason Taylor with 2 at least. We got the Dolphins, the Bills. All right, folks. Last one for me today. I'll be right back. Going to the bathroom. So that team finished up with Burrow and Tua, Chase Brown, James Cook, Swift, White, Eckler, Puka, AJ Brown, Metcalf, Shakir, Igbuka, Bateman, Coleman, Yoshi Boss, Kincaid, Gesicki. Gesicki, by the way, multiple-time Best Ball Mania champion, including this team, and Mason Taylor. $111. Probably the strongest part, probably the strongest parts of the draft is the back half. What a loser. Like the stream, guys. Nowhere else can you find a 3-time, including 2-time finalist, champion. Giving it all out. Anything is possible. I would not be drafting with that in mind. I know, man. It's a bummer that there aren't people screaming from the top of their lungs how Justin Jefferson's better this year. People used to legitimately just like argue with me, like, no, Jamar Chase is not that good. Hate when you're right. How unjust. We were right about Jamar Chase, and now we'll only get him if you get the 101. RHYSV. I think Neighbors ADP is going to settle higher than Brian Thomas, but like Brian Thomas Jr. was one of my brand guys last year. I just kept drafting him again and again in the 5th and 6th. And so in no universe was I going to take Neighbors over Thomas on draft day. Drake London. Just think he can have some insane target shares. It's hard to go wrong, though. It's like CMC, Achane. I like these guys. I want these guys. We're just going to double tap the wideouts, though, to begin. There's also a puppy in the lobby. Let's go through the structure. So BBM, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 13, 1 out of 16, 539 person final. $2 million to first. Not even 10% of that for 10th. 15 people making 100K. 20 people making 70K. 30 people making 50K. So that's pretty nice as far as like top heavy nature. It's still obviously very top heavy. You don't get to the final, see you later. But pretty decent. There's also a puppy, 100K to first. There's an eliminator, 200K to first. There is the marathon, which they lowered to 15K, only 100K to first though. Or $15, I mean. There's the sprint. My God, there's so many things in the lobby. 150K to first. There's a big dog. We're going to enter this and just see. Any big dogs out there? Just 11 more. There is weekly winners, 20K a week. Big dog, 200K to first. 2 out of 12, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 10-person final. There's no universe that big dog's going to kick off, but if it does, we're here for it. I'll take a look after, but we're getting reports that the eliminator is changing. Sideline reporter Nolan. What do you mean, are they playing this? You can look up what teams. You already know what teams are playing which right now. You just don't know the schedule. Kyron, not a draft loser. They did draft a running back, but like not a draft winner. I think this is the first RB start we've seen. So if $5 drafts is more your speed, the puppy is in the lobby. Which I don't think they've ever done that before. I don't think they've ever dropped the puppy. Sure, Chase Brown again. I mean, Chase Brown is a 2-3 turn pick right now. But price anchoring. And honestly, if someone wanted to ask me what's the big difference between Chase Brown and Devon Achane, I'd understand what they're saying. Let's go Rice. I don't think Jacobs is like a winner. He's not a loser, though. I mean, were you expecting them to go round 1 or 2 running back? No. Thoughts on Maxwell Harrison, the Bills corner in the first round? I liked what the Bills did in the draft. They drafted a lot of elite athletes, which when you think, if you can coach these elite athletes, you can get star players. And I think the Bills saw how the Eagles handled the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and they said, we want that. They loaded up on defense. Yeah, I'll be drafting Breece Hall this year. He's a pretty nice click at the 3-4 turn. I didn't like him in the first round last year, but he still has some risk, but I think he's a good click here. Hampton, it's not as clean with Najee being there, but he's obviously the RB1. I think he should stay in this range. I considered going Hunter here, but I think it's like I like Travis Hunter a lot, but taking him over known studs without questions is when you start to go, are we buying into the hype a little bit? Bills don't have to do anything. They could make Cook play his 5th-year option and just drag this thing out. Yes, looks like the eliminator is 6 out of 12 and then a bunch of head-to-head matchups, which is kind of fun. Because it's like, one of you guys could be head-to-head against me. I mean, I don't know. The Bills average 30 points a week. So would I have liked and been excited about a high drafted wide receiver? Of course. We're getting Burrow again to go with Brown. I don't get why people hate DK Metcalf. Yeah, the AJ Brown drafter passing on Hurts. Making us do it again, guys. They're making us do it again. Travion Henderson, it's a little rich. 5th round. Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf. Let's see. Joe Burrow last year, 381 fantasy points. Josh Allen, 385. Lamar, 434. Hurts, who got hurt, 320. Jaden, who was a rookie, 364. So basically, Burrow is a very similar fantasy asset to Lamar, Allen, Daniels, Hurts. He just does it by throwing. I agree. And this, if you're going to be doing a lot of these guys, a lot of teams that is, don't fall into the mindset of like, oh, I just did this last draft. I have to do something different, because that might be a fleeting opportunity. For example, getting Burrow in the 6th might not happen later. Getting Chase Brown in the 3rd might not happen later. So, like, simply take your opportunity now. This is a terrible team. Chase, Bucky, Jacobs, Kittle, Mixon, Harvey, Pearsall, 2 wide receivers. I don't know. Probably not it, Chief. I get the enthusiasm on Harvey, but it probably wasn't meant for you, dog, on this team specifically when you go 3 running backs to start your draft. So a similar team to before, different players, and we only went one running back at the 3-4 turn instead of 2. Oh my God, dude. Is anyone surprised that the Let's Go Brandon 2024 account is the fish who took Najee Epic 81? Just my God. Wow, Mahomes goes for no reason. Oh, he has Worthy. Allen, Hurts, Mahomes? Yeah, I don't know, Chief. Ayuk. Yes, let's do it. This is probably really bad asset allocation too. Allen, Hurts, Mahomes. Only one can hit your lineup, big dog. Yeah, we'll go Diggs too. Why not? Definitely a lot of questions on this team. Rice, Ayuk, Diggs, but I'm seeing some people say Ayuk is going to start week 1. Diggs has been seen running routes. Vibes on Rashee seem pretty good too. No, this is yeah. People think that people that draft early are all good at drafting. No, big dog. Some people just like to draft. This dude has a badge. If that means anything to you. Doesn't to me. Just means that, trust me, a lot of people play poker every single day, never win. Oh, we got him, guys. We found the drafting this time of year is just donating. Tell it to my 2 teams in the finals last year, best ball. Monster. But I'm sure you have it all figured out. Ayuk could be a league winner. Absolutely. But what if Underdog changes the rules and makes it super flex midway through? What if? So kind of a unique team because I mean, number one, I got a lot of quarterback options, but more importantly, I have 6 wide receivers, which means like, okay, like I don't want to keep drafting wide receivers. However, Ayuk, Diggs, Rice, like are they playing week 1? What's going on there? So you kind of want some couple extra guys for that. Loveland flipping Warren's ADP makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, I mean, RJ Harvey is a guy who I'm just kind of trying to get a value. I'm not going to take him in the 5th round. He passed on Kelsey. Why not? We'll do Swift again. Feels like a safe fallback. I could totally do Kelsey. I just don't really feel like it. We're going to do Brian Robinson too. Pretty much survived the draft. 2 maybe boring starter running backs, but they are starting running backs currently. Yeah, it is. It is a little hard making the adjustment. Tyrone Tracy went pick 84 in this one, by the way. So this team, Burrow, Chase Brown, Swift, Brian Robinson. A decent trio to give you some points. Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rice, Metcalf, Ayuk, Diggs. Either a awesome 6 or we have some issues. Yeah, I mean, and this was, by the way, like the Commanders had 5 draft picks, which if people bothered to look at that, they would realize that they were always unlikely to add a running back. That being said, J.K. Dobbins is going to play football this year, I believe. Ooh, another one bites the dust. Someone put Hampton at 12. The star method, crushing drafters since forever. Christian Kirk, I mean, he's a tough rank. I have him ranked in this tier of wideouts. If someone told me I would prefer Jaden Higgins, I wouldn't call them crazy. I don't think you can really prefer Noel straight up over him, but some people think Tracy's a loser because of Scatabo, but he also could be viewed as a winner. I personally think Jalen Warren and Tracy didn't take like a huge crush. Like both are still fine clicks. I'm prone to believe that Christian Kirk did not become geriatric overnight, but you never know. He went pick 94 in this one. Scatabo pick 99 is like probably about a pretty bad pick. Seattle could definitely be sellers at the trade deadline at running back. They pretty clearly are building for the future. Okay, let's go Trevor. Not let this guy do it to me. And he did go naked Jordan Love, so that was probably a pretty good pick. And then Kincaid again. I like it. Perhaps I could have broken the tie towards likely just because he plays in the same division as Joe Burrow, but I think Kincaid's a better pure ceiling pick. Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, going to stop at 2 there. Chase Brown, Swift, Brian Robinson Jr., Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, and Dalton Kincaid. Feels like a nice core to build depth from. I mean, I would strongly lean Tracy over Scatabo, but based on draft capital, and I thought Tracy was pretty good last year. But, that could be, I mean, maybe Scatabo is that good. Let's see how this triple quarterback team turned out. Allen, Hurts, Mahomes, CMC, Kamara, Caleb, Warren, Puka, Worthy, McMillan. So only 3 wide receivers. That's a no for me, dog. Just got Kirk 115. I'm just going to scoop these fallers. Well, some of it is falling and some of it is a correction based on ADP, and it's kind of on you to figure out what's going on. The Giants also might not score a lot of touchdowns. Like that might be a team where you're like, maybe I don't want to wade into the ambiguity of a 4.5 Vegas win total team. I lean right, but Ollie Gordon does different things. So a lot of these teams, again, I'm going to have a depth chart article out on the site, beatbestball.com, where I go through the relative ambiguity of teams, how certain I feel about certain situations. So all that info will be there. I mean, this is a pretty terrible click, right? Devin Neal in the 13th. I mean, huge value. Kincaid and Goddard, I feel good enough about that duo to just stop at 2. This guy's reaching on Wicks because he has Love. Okay. Let's go with one of my pre-draft guys. And a relative post-draft winner, Cedric Tillman, plays in the same division as the Bengals. So, and this guy's team is terrible. McMillan, Worthy, Puka at wide receiver, and that's it. I play knight f6. What are your thoughts on what happened with Shadur Sanders? Yeah, I always kind of thought Shadur was closer to a second or third round pick. That's why for most of the cycle, I just had Dart ranked straight up over him. I think what happened is the NFL got together and wanted to send a message that, like, absolutely, we're never allowing this behavior to happen again. He was probably disrespectful. Dion was probably disrespectful. He wasn't a first round talent. And so everyone didn't want the headache. Perhaps some soft collusion, maybe even before the draft. They're like, he's going to be a Brown in the 5th. And I think, from what you could see from the Browns draft room reaction to drafting Shadur, like, they didn't want to take him. The owner stepped in. And I think the Browns want to, like, be bad and get quarterback next year. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like Shadur, like taking Dylan Gabriel over him, I think was like egregious, right? So I don't know. It was weird. I mean, he's a winner. They didn't go running back. Doesn't mean he'll be a good fantasy pick if Saquon stays healthy. Bad selection. Should we put any stock in Terrence Ferguson to the Rams? Yeah, they're a team that could play more 12 personnel. I could see Higbee still being the tight end one. I could see him being. He's worth mixing in though. Drafting Jarquez Hunter, he's worth mixing in. Did the Cowboys bring in J.K. Dobbins? 3.632. My God. Don't go wide receiver. Come on, pass on it. Oh, Adam Thielen. He was hooping and hollering. All right, we have to go running back here. Go Eckler. Eckler with Brian Robinson. I like that. Where do you think Keenan ends up? Tough call, man. I don't know. I still draft him, though. Can you explain the eliminator? Let me finish this draft, and I'll explain it for you. Oh. So I need running back more. So I'm going to go Braylon Allen. But Brenton Strange and Mike Gesicki obviously stack with my team. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit more responsible to go Braylon and Eckler. I'm already relatively strong at tight end and wide receiver. You think Kincaid does well? I think he's cheap enough that I'm going to be finding out. And yeah, he could be a really good pick. Could still be hurt too. They could also just be a run-heavy team. Josh Allen could steal touchdowns. It's hard to say right now, but I'm prone to bet on him at pick 134. So we got Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift, Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, Braylon Allen, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Rashee Rice, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, Cedric Tillman, Kincaid, and Goddard. Probably go 2-6-8-2. It's like in some senses, I want to go 2 more running backs. In some senses, I want 2 more wide receivers. Not easy. Are we still drafting Anthony Richardson? When I need to, yes. How do you feel about Torrey Horton? Went pretty late in the draft. He's okay to mix in. Thoughts on Fant with Seattle drafting Arroyo? Yeah, I don't understand why they haven't cut Fant yet. I don't know what the date is for them to cut to avoid paying him all this money. I don't know what's going on there. I think Noah Fant's going to play football this year, so it's like he's okay mixing in. I don't know. Maybe they can just cut him before the season starts, which obviously they're going to do, unless they don't care about the $10 million. So we weren't able to get Yoshi Voss because this dude took him to pair with Chase, I guess. Which means we're only going to have Burrow stacked with Chase Brown, and that's okay. Kind of frees us from forcing one of those two guys. So that probably just makes us go running back, wide receiver. We'll go Marshawn Lloyd. One of my guys. Tutu, Pat Bryant. We'll go Pat Bryant. I like Tutu better, but Pat Bryant's more likely to rise. So Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, Chase Brown, DeAndre Swift, Brian Robinson, Eckler, Braylon Allen, Marshawn Lloyd. B. Tom, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Metcalf, Ayuk, Diggs, Tillman, Brad Bryant, Kincaid, and Goddard. Feels good. The Eliminator. So the first round is 6 out of 12. From there, you go to head-to-head brackets all the way through. You versus another team. And if you reach the end, you and 2 other teams fight for $200K. Which seems fun. I'll definitely have some entries in there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end our first stream of the year. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to click subscribe. My rankings and articles will be found at beatbestball.com. I will be back with more streams later. Going to do some streams some drafts off stream too, so I don't have to be in with all you monsters. Make sure you subscribe and join the Discord. It's going to be a great best ball summer. Peace out.